Hello fellow Sudokans and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle. It's Monday the 11th of December 2023. What's a Sudokan? Well, it's you. Congratulations, you've found your way to a channel that promotes the game of Sudoku in whichever way you want to play it. But I should tell you, when I say that, please don't guess. This is nothing to do with guessing. This is all about a game of logic. But on a Monday, we give the beginner level Guardian puzzle. I call it beginner level. It's classified as easy, and it usually can be done by anybody, even if you've never played the game before, with a bit of help in explaining how to play the game. So please watch the video, and there'll be a link at the end to go to lots of other easy level games if you've never played the game before and want to practice a few and really get into the game. Okay, but this is not just a Sudoku channel. This is also a chat channel. Whatever is on my mind on a particular day, and what's on my mind right now is that King Charles has appointed a pro-homeopathy doctor. I say doctor, he is a doctor, but he believes in homeopathy as well, as head of the royal medical household, apparently responsible for the well-being of the royal family. Well, this sends a bad signal, because homeopathy is a ridiculous idea. If you don't know anything about homeopathy, it's imagining that water has a memory. Yes, you heard me correctly. Water can remember. That's the whole basis of the idea, because they dilute substances to the point where not even a single molecule of the original medicine, supposed medicine, is in the dilution. Not a single molecule, nothing there except water. But water has a memory. And if you believe that, I'm afraid you have to go and vote for Trump and other people like that. So that's a bad signal. It should not be done. It's time to rail against that ridiculous treatment, because it's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. It's just absolutely beyond any kind of belief. Now, apparently this other physician is trying to promote alternative medicine, complementary medicine. Well, I mean, things like massage and stuff like that can have an effect. Usually what we find is that when tested, is that what has helped people cure is the fact that physicians and doctors can spend a long time and talk to their patients really nicely and sound interested and listen to what they have to say and try to come up with a solution that will cure the patient in a way that the patient will be fine with. And it's this psychological effect, the fact that doctors can speak to the patients for a long time and listen to them and communicate with them very well, that actually helps cure the patient. So if we could have that in traditional medicine, in traditional Western, I'm doing air quotes, Western medicine, well, then that would kill two birds with one stone, but not kill the patient, right? Anyway, let's get on with the game of Sudoku, shall we? We're more interested in actual scientific reasoning here. Actually, you don't need scientific reasoning, just a basic, very, very basic idea of logic to solve a Sudoku game. So what are the rules of Sudoku? Well, you can see we have a grid. It has 9 squares across and 9 squares down. It's a large 9x9 grid, 81 squares, obviously. But you don't need to know anything about maths. So let me just stop there. Now look. Actually, in this row at the top and in this row on the first column, in this first column, there are no numbers placed. But if you counted, you would find there are 9 squares. You can see they're split into 3, 3, 3, and 3. So there are 9 squares across and there are 9 squares down. Now, actually, the other rows and columns already have some digits placed, because the shape today, we've got like an old man with a stick or something like that in our Sudoku shape today. So, what is the object of the game? Well, you might have guessed already. The object of the game is to fill up the rows and the columns with digits. Now, since there are 9 squares, we can fill in digits 1 to 9 only. We start with 1. We've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8 already in this row here. We have 3 more digits to complete the series of 1 to 9. Okay, and then this column here also has a lot of digits already placed, and we're looking for 3 more numbers to complete the series of 1 to 9. Now, we haven't quite finished, because you will, no doubt have noticed that we have these black lines dividing the large grid into 9 smaller grids, which also have 9 squares. And guess what? Yes, you're ahead of me. We want to fit the digits 1 to 9 in these small grids. Right, okay, got it. So, like I said, we don't guess though, we just use logic. How do we go about it? Let's take an example. Here we have a 3 by 3 small grid. We don't yet have digit 3. We have only 4 and 9, nothing else. But I happen to have spotted the fact that we can place a digit 3 here. Now, how did I spot that? I spotted that by looking at the surrounding 3s. This 3, and this 3 down here. So, what do I understand? Well, I know that because a number can fit into its row, column, or block once only, that there can be no more 3s in this row. Can't have any more 3s because we already have 3 in this row. And I understand that we have 3 in this column, so there can't be any more 3s in this column, and this column here can't be any more 3s down there. So if you consider the effect of these 3s, we'll see that there's just one empty square, and so the 3 must fit into that square there. It can't go anywhere else, and that's what the game is about. If it can't go anywhere else, it must go there. Let's take the 2s here. We can see that 2 blocks across here. When I say block, I mean disallows from reappearing. And the 2 blocks across here like this, which is going to put a 2 into that square. And that's how we play the game. So we basically walk around the grid looking for possibilities, and then finding, well, there's only one square where it can fit, and that means it goes there. Let's continue in this small block down here. We've got 8s blocking across here and 8s down there like that, which means that this is going to be an 8. Right, got it? So that's all we need to do. So since we only have 3 numbers here and we only have 3 numbers missing here, we could investigate and find out what the missing numbers are. That's sometimes helpful. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8. What we don't have is 4, 6, 9. So we know that 3 numbers that fit into these 3 squares must be 4, 6, and 9. So let's consider this square and ask ourselves, can it be 4? And we look down here and say, hey, no, can't be 4 because we've got 4 here. Can it be 6? No reason why not. If it feels like being a 6, maybe let it be a 6. And can it be 9? Definitely not. So then now we know that it has to be a 6 because there were only 3 possibilities. 4 and 9 say, no way, Jose. So 6 is there. And that's going to leave us with 4 and 9 in those squares. Now let's look down here and see, hey, there's a 9 down here. So when that 9 blocks up there, we know that of these 2, which have to be 4 and 9, 9 must be in this square. And now we've only got one number left to complete this row, and that's going to be a 4. I hope this is not too fast for you. It shouldn't be. But if it is, just go back and watch it again. Now we've got 4 blocking down here and 4 across here and across here. And that will give us 4 there. If ever these things look too fast, you can always go back and watch it. Now I want to show you a little bit of the way that what we sometimes need to do is think ahead a little bit. So let's see this 4 blocking up here. What does it mean in this small block up here, this 3 by 3 block here? It means that 4 can't be in this square or this square. So therefore, 4 has to be in one of these 2 squares here, right? Which one is it in? I don't know. Can't tell for the moment. Well, actually I can, but imagine I can't tell for the moment. It's in one of these 2 squares here, right? So if the 4 is in this square, it blocks across there. And if the 4 is in this square, it blocks across there. So that's the same effect. there can be no other 4s in this row. And now when we consider there's a 4 blocking up here, we can see in this block here, none of these 3 can be 4 because of the 4 that will appear in one of those squares. And this 4 blocks this square here, so we know the 4 goes there. Now actually, I said that I couldn't see which is which, but I realized after while I was chatting to you that I actually could find out which is which. Because here's another thing we can do. In this column, we don't yet have 4, but look, there's a 4 blocking this square, or this 4 blocking this square, because a number can appear only once. It's the same thing, same effect. 4 blocks this square here, and 4 blocks this square here. So these 3 are disallowed because of these 4s, and so in fact we can get a 4 in that square up there. Got it? Okay. Now we've got the 4 blocking up here and the 4 blocking down here and the 4 across there. So that's our 4. Now actually that was the final digit 4. When I say final, what I mean is there are no more digit 4s on the grid, because if you look, we've got a 4 in every single row, every column, and every one of these small blocks. We have a 4 everywhere, right? So there aren't any more to get, so we don't need to worry about digit 4 anymore. Now there are only 2 empty squares up here. Let's see what's missing, see if we can get it. This game is about looking. Sometimes we find, sometimes we don't. We've got 1, we don't have 2, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, we don't have 7. So we know that these 2 squares contain 2 or 7 only, and in fact we can find out which is which because the 7 blocks across here. So that's going to be the 7, and that's going to be the 2. Now we can take that 2 that we just filled in, bring it back this way, 2 blocking up here, and that's going to be our 2 there. Now our 9 blocks up here, so there's only 1 empty square left in this block, so that's a 9. And now there's only 1 empty square for this block here, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have 6. Let's put our 6 there. There's 6 blocks across there, so that will give us a 6 in that square there. Now we only have 3 empty squares, 3 missing digits here. We can work out what they are, the rest of the numbers for this block. It might help, it might not. Now we don't have 1, we don't have 3, and we don't have 9. Now this time it doesn't help. We've got an intersecting 1, but we don't know anything about the 3s and the 9s yet. So we will just leave that for now, but we will maybe think about it later. Right, we'll come back to it later. Over here, what's missing from this row? We don't yet have 1 and we don't yet have 3. Again, we can't do anything down there. Now, if we know this is 1 and 3, we can look up here to find this is going to be 5 and 8. If you understand, this is 1 and 3 only. Which is which? I don't know. This then has to be 5 and 8. Or you could look along here and say, we know what these 3 are, so we're left with 5 and 8 over here. Now we can see the 8 blocking up here like this. And if you don't believe me, you can also see the 8 blocking across there. So that's our 8. And this will be, this was 1 and 3. And this is going to be 5 and 8. Or you can see the 5 blocking across there. There's the 5. Let's have some water, excuse me. All right. Now what? So if you get a little way into the game, if you're playing the game on a pencil and paper, you just have to keep looking manually. But the computer, if you're playing the game on a computer can help us, especially if you're using this Sudoku exchange solver that I often usually use, I should say. And that's because when you click on a number, you get the other numbers highlighted, and it allows you just to cast your eyes along and see along the rows and columns where those numbers are. Until you find an easy one. Hopefully there will be an easy one somewhere. 4 is done. No need to click on 4 actually. Okay, we have 7 blocking this square and 7 blocking this square in the bottom row. So neither of these two can be 7. There's only one empty square in the bottom row, so the 7 goes there. There's 7 blocks up here, 7 across there. That gives us the 7 there, and 7 across here, 7 down here, and 7 across there. Means that that's a 7. Eight blocks across here, 8 across here, and 8 down there. So that's our 8. 8 up here, 8 across here, 8 down here, and across here. In this block here, it means that's our 8. And that's the final digit 8. No more 8s to be found. 9 across here and across there will give us 9 here. 9 down here and 9 across these rows means that that's a 9, and then 9 up here and up here means that this is our 9. Now we only have 2 missing numbers here. One of them is a 1. 1 blocks up here, so that's our 1. And the last number to finish this row and this block is the same number, of course. It's a 3. The game is, one unique solution, a unique solution. So there is only one number. This doesn't change. It's not random or anything like that. Okay, this will be a 3 in this location here. 3 up, 3 down, and that's our 3 there, and then 3 across here and 3 across here. Again, I say, if it seems too fast, just go back and rewind it a little bit. Now there's one more number here for this block or this row, which is 1, and that 1 blocks down here, giving me the 1 here. There's only one empty square left in this column, and there's enough room to fit in a 6. And we also need a 6 to complete this block here. So let's fill that in. Missing numbers here are 2 and 5, but we can't see which is which yet. So again, we have to come back later, look at that later. Now we have 1 blocking up here and 1 across there. So that will be a digit 1. We have 2 blocking down here, so this is our 2. 2 across here, 2 up there, and 2 down there. And there's a 2, then 2 across this way. Now we know that's our 2, and then our 5 finishes there. There's just 1 empty square here. That's enough room for a 1. And then 1 blocking down and blocking down. This is going to be the final digit 1. Now the digits that are already finished are 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9. There are only 3 numbers left to get, which are 5, 6, and 7. That's all we're looking for. Now when we look at this column here, since we see 5 and 7 already, I know this is going to be a 6. It saves a bit of time like that. Now we have 6 blocking down here, so that's going to be a 6. Then 6 blocking up here, that's going to be a 6. 6 blocking across here, and the final 6 goes there. Now we're only looking for 5 and 7. We've got a 7 here. I'm sure this is a 5. 5 blocks down here, this is a 5. 5 across here, that's a 5. And we still need a 5 in that block there. Now we're just looking for 7s. There are 2 empty squares. 7 here, 7 there. So as I said, watch out for the link to the playlist of easy games at the end here, and come back and join the channel again. Bye bye.